Hi, I'm Mika Truman, and welcome to my YouTube channel as well as Frankincense, School of Mystical Art. As we jump into the year 2020 and we take a look at the predictions ahead, these are some of the things that I really strongly saw and felt, and I did see that this strongly looks and feels like that it's going to be a year for the books. There are so many significant changes that I do get that you are going to start to see. And I do get, even now, jumping into the end of 2020 and beyond, you are at least going to start seeing that this is where the seeds will be planted. This is where you very well may see the beginning stages, the beginning processes of a lot of laws, rules, regulations, that is on a government level as far as a state level as well. I do get laws being brought back to life, as well as some laws and rules dying off and fading out. Some of these laws that I do get are going to be brought up. Feels like that they are going to have to do with state borders, guidelines, as far as the way that states run their area. I do get that there feels like that there may be a little bit of disagreement, which may bring on some of these new state changes, the borders being altered and changed in some way. You may even see some states kind of break off a little bit. But I do get that it strongly looks and feels like that it's going to come up for discussion and perhaps strong debate as well. So it's going to be really interesting. This year it's going to be about a lot of opinions and a lot of ideas and a lot of strong ideas and a lot of strong opinions. So some I don't get is going to die off or fade away. Some looks like they're really going to be pushed to the limit, pushed to the extreme. And that's why I was shown where we have a lot of laws and rules changing. And these are laws and rules that are very different that we never thought would come up. These are rules and guidelines and regulations that are changing, but it feels like that they're going to be enforced. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. I do get as far as even politics. I do get that there is going to be some restructuring, redesigning on how the votes are taken, as far as who is allowed to vote, who isn't allowed to vote, where you go to vote. I do get that is going to get a major overhaul, and that is one of the areas which I do get is going to bring a lot of attention as well as contention too. In that area, I get a lot of opinions. So it looks like that it's going to be really super intense if we can all come together and come up with some kind of agreement. But it looks like everybody has an opinion and everybody is going to have an idea, and it doesn't look like that people are going to want to agree too much on anything as far as the voting process goes. I do get this upcoming 2020 election year strongly feels like that it is going to be so chock full of twists and turns and so many different surprises and people popping in, having an opinion, but it feels like it's going to be really intense. I do get, unfortunately, it looks like there's going to be a lot of protest, which does concern me because this year feels like that it's going to be really heated, and it feels like a lot of strong thoughts, strong opinions. So if you do go to these rallies, please be mindful and please be safe, because it looks like that people are very passionate about what they believe in and what their opinions are. So this year looks like that it really could make other years where there has been strong, significant protest. This looks like that it could be one that would definitely supersede all of them. So please be mindful and be cautious. So it's what's really interesting too is that I do get a major change and changes that feels like that is going to come up within the police departments, and who governs them, how they are governed, how the training of the officers are. And I do get that it's totally going to be shifted and turned and changed. Even where it looks like there's some secrets that very well could come out, scandals within police officers, and it looks like it's some of these protests. It feels like that military may even possibly step in. So it kind of all goes a little bit hand in hand, but it feels like the police departments overall could really change a lot of how they have been designed. So watch this year, a lot of attention being drawn to that and changes that will be brought to it as well. I do get you're also may see a tremendous amount of either energy or debate, new guidelines and rules being pushed, and people really pushing for Child Protective Services to restructure their policies and procedures, as well as disabilities, and as well as elderly care. So I do get a lot of attention drawn to those areas. I do get even animal rights is going to come up also. So those areas I do get is going to get a lot of attention. Now, unfortunately, there may be a reason why people are going to really push and demand that changes need to happen. So sometimes when you see something of this magnitude of really wanting changes to happen, sometimes there has been a reason why something has happened, or neglect of some way, magnitude is brought up. So be mindful of that. Let's hope not. I hope that abuse in some way doesn't come up on those areas. In those areas, I hope that is not the case, but it looks like that it very well may come up, because I do see it pushing for change and new laws, guidelines, regulations being brought and being discussed where there may be new laws. So that is going to come up. So if you're in that structure, be mindful. I do get that we have a lot that's going on within education. Education now until 2020 and beyond, I do get is being looked at. It's being evaluated, the way that the classes, now this is even within elementary to high school going into college. I do get credits are going to be evaluated, the different courses and classes, obtaining certain credits that looks like would lead into degrees. I get that is going to be reevaluated. I do get that they are going to take out certain classes which they feel like may not really be applicable anymore. Feels like they may be gone, and maybe even put in more of the area of an elective course. But I do get that the way that education has been structured, I do get it's going to totally get turned around and changed. I do see some of the biggest and greatest trends are going to be homeschool, and even combination of homeschool going into also going to the school. So it would be combination, and I do get that there very well could be some incentives that is going to come up with that also. So that will be really interesting. I do get that it looks like that there's going to be a rise of private schools and some really good private schools as well. Some religious, which we may even see a rise in spiritual private schools that are going to come up, which would be nice. But I do get the way that the schooling has been done up to this point is going to really see a major shift and change with that. I do get even with college courses, college fees, that looks like it's going to be looked at, and it looks like that there is some cost breaks that may come up as well. So that would be a nice change. I don't get it's going to become free anytime soon. And I do get that there will still be a fee, but it feels like that it may be more monitored, or that it would be more on the reasonable side, or that there's some cost breaks or some perks, something like this. Feels like that it's going to come up. I do also get online college courses is going to start becoming really a very strong, great trend also. So that'll be nice. I know it already has been up to a point, but I really see it becoming a really significant sector within college courses. So that'll be good. I do get also one of the big trends that are coming up is libraries, which is really interesting. I see it being very much a desire for libraries that are going to come back into the homes, even public libraries becoming more of the place where people are going to go. I do get that even libraries in the home, going to the libraries, everything about books, everything about reading, everything is going to be about reading, reading, reading. New campaigns on reading. So I do get that it's going to be a lot about books, books, books. And online books are always great, but I really get it's going to go back to the hardback covered books, coffee table books. It's going to be all about bookstores. So it's really kind of fun, but you're going to most likely see more of different trends on fun little bookstores. So I love that. I do get also, this is one that is really kind of interesting to me. I was shown that the energy crisis, or where you see whether it be voluntary energy turn-offs, or how, with all the outages within the electrical, within energy, unfortunately, I do see a rise with that, with powers just going out. Sometimes you may have warning, and sometimes you won't. But it looks like it's very random that I see power outages, whether it could be from fire, it could be from water, it could be from storms. But it's almost like everywhere I see is like within the next, unfortunately, it could be several years, power outages. So please be mindful if you are one of those where you depend very strongly on power for your health, or your loved ones that need help for your health. Please be prepared, whether it be through a generator. Make sure you have fuel, make sure you have lights, make sure you have heat, and even going into the summer, make sure that you have a way to stay cool. But I do get energy crisis is going to be a wave, unfortunately. I do get that solar is going to come in, but I do get there's also something that's coming with a cleaner electrical power source, whether that be combination with solar or not, but somehow it looks like that it's going to totally be changed, and so that it is more safer. So I do get that's going to come up, and I get people are going to start becoming more cautious and more aware of turning off your lights, turning off the porch lights. I just get, you're going to start seeing more that has to do with energy and lights and power. That is going to be a lot of talk. So that would be very, very interesting. So keep an eye out, because it's how I'm doing the 2020 predictions and beyond is I'm breaking it up in sections. So this is the first section, this is the first part. So keep your eye out, because here shortly there will be more to come, and so much more to come, because 2020 is going to be a very significant year that will be one that will be talked about for years and years and years to come, and not all so great, unfortunately. So until next time, jump over to fsma.life and check out our video courses on how to become psychic, how to become a tarot advisor, how to become more spiritual, how to clear energy, and there's tons of free stuff over there too. And don't forget to join our online community as well. So until next time, blessings to you, and until then,